March 8th. The history and meaning of Women's Day. March 8th is not just a date on the calendar. It is a story. It is a symbol. It's a call to action. It's the day when the world pauses, at least for a moment, to recognize the value, strength, and courage of women. But where does this day come from? And more importantly, what does it truly mean? To understand March 8th, we need to take a step back in time. We find ourselves in the early 1900s, an era of great change but also of deep injustice. Women worked tirelessly in factories, often in inhumane conditions, with miserable wages and no rights. They had no right to vote, no equal pay. Society confined them to marginal roles, silencing their voices. One of the most well-known stories tells of a group of textile workers in New York who, in 1908, went on strike to demand fair wages and better conditions. Their protest was met with violence, and according to some historical accounts, many women lost their lives in a fire at the cotton textile factory. However, this event is often confused with the tragic fire at the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in 1911, which brought widespread awareness to the harsh working conditions women faced. A few years later, in 1910, at a conference in Copenhagen, socialist leader Clara Zetkin proposed the establishment of an international day to honor women and their fight for rights. The proposal was met with enthusiasm, and in the years that followed, several countries began to observe this day with protests and strikes. Then came 1917. In Russia, thousands of women took to the streets demanding an end to war, bread, and better living conditions. That protest, held on March 8 according to the Gregorian calendar, marked the beginning of the Russian Revolution, which led to the fall of the Tsar just days later. It was a historic moment where women demonstrated their power in driving social and political change. In 1977, the United Nations officially recognized this date as International Women's Day, acknowledging it as a symbol of the ongoing fight for rights and equality. But let's be clear, this is not just another celebration. It is a day of reflection, awareness, and resistance. Today, March 8th is still necessary. Yes, women have achieved so much. They have broken barriers, challenged stereotypes, and reached extraordinary milestones. But injustice is far from over. The gender pay gap still exists. Gender-based violence remains a global crisis. In many parts of the world, women still have no voice, no freedom, no rights. March 8th is not just about the past. It's not just about today. It's about every day. Because every woman who rises in the morning, who fights, who dreams, who refuses to give up, is a revolution in motion. And now, it's up to us. What can we do to make this day more than just a date? Let's take action. Speak up. Support the women around us. Challenge injustice. Demand change. Because if we don't, who will? If this message resonated with you, don't just scroll past. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Change starts with each of us, and it starts now. Thank you.